Well, most years, a lot of years really. I've been on a nice run since about, Blossom in 2015 was great. The Nutter Center in 17, really good. MPP Night 2 in 18. Alpine in 19. I've had some great shows that I've been lucky enough to go to until now this year. Oh, man, last night was the night. So close, and I didn't really pick this show, man. The show kind of picked me, especially after last night. No choice. And Michigan being a recreational state, perhaps I should have waited till the morning to do this. Michigan being a recreational state was a bonus. That was a plus. The distance not too far. Had to take a little detour into Ann Arbor. It's like, maybe I'll give this stuff a try. I hear they got gummies. They got gummy bears. What are they? I'll try some of these gummy bears. You got some cartridges, man. Somebody said something about a disposable cartridge. They didn't tell me that. I was like, they should have told me, hey man, you don't have to do that all at once. So it's like, well, we had like a 90-minute weather delay. I was gonna be late to the show. That would have been a first. Now, as you may have heard, as I've said, I'll bounce on an encore, man. You watch it. But I've never been late to a show, ever, ever, ever. And this one I was definitely probably I was gonna be late. And thankfully for the delay, I was not. But then, unfortunately, just sitting there in the car, I went to town on the vape, and then I went to. Since I had dinner, I was like, I could probably do a couple extra gummies. Oh man, maybe you've been there before, but when it got to the time, man, it's like it's crunch time. It's like 5 till 9. Just probably should get in there. I was just decided I was just going to leave my phone in the car. Not have to freak out about it getting wet or anything. Of course, I wasn't prepared. I didn't have any kind of bag or an umbrella or poncho. Didn't have my Sears poncho. Didn't have a Mexican poncho. I was not prepared at all. All I had was my hair. I did have a hat, actually. Shouldn't say that. I was somewhat prepared, but not for rain. And then, oh yeah, you may have seen me. Maybe if you did, you'd have been like, that's pre-COVID, you probably would have contacted the FBI if you saw me. I went with the hat, and it was very uncomfortable, but went with the hat and mask. Maybe mainly just because I was just like, man, I can't talk to anybody right now. I barely was able to get out of the car, and I never needed you like this before. I was like, man, now the show is starting. I couldn't do it, man. I was like, whoa, I have went way too deep here. But I was able to weather the storm, and before everything's right's over, was in there on the lawn, and I was like, man, what is this? It's pretty cool, man. And somebody was like, it's everything's right. I was like, oh, never mind, this sucks. All right, that didn't really happen. But then we got Camel Walk, probably, I suppose, the surprise sleeper of the night, Camel Walk. Although, show number 34 for me tonight, and already my fourth Camel Walk. I feel like that's kind of a high number for a low amount of shows. Possum now took over the noon, but does it count? And did I bounce? What would you say? If I did bounce on the encore, I'm not saying if I did or didn't. That's a choose your own adventure. You decide. Play that one out whatever you want to imagine. And you got to figure by Possum, I'm already in the car. Woo! Kicking dust, man. Out of here. There might have been a racetrack nearby up there. Or maybe that was closer to Ann Arbor. Carini was one of the highlights, like you would probably expect. The Everything's Right jam was all right. That sounded kind of cool as I was easing in. They played Bouncin' Around the Room. My Friend, My Friend. That's one of my favorite songs. A song that's, almost never going to get jammed out. That would be in my top 10 of those type of songs. Camel Walk, very nice. Oh, yeah, and then Stash. Very good Stash. I was sitting there at that point. I think I was on like wave 2 of the gummy bears. Well, they weren't bears. I was a little disappointed they weren't bears, just squares. Gummy squares. I was like, I think I was on wave 2. I was like, this is the greatest Stash I've ever heard. All right, that's probably not the case. But I think it was a very, very good Stash. In fact, that kind of middle section of the show was pretty good. Kill Devil Falls was nice. Bouncing Around the Room, that seems to be fun or whatever. People like that, man. I got a really big applause for that one, man. People were all fired up for Bouncing Around the Room. Like, good job, guys. Well, and then the David Bowie. I like, there's a part in there. It's kind of like has that Reba jam sound to it. Curtain, Lizards, just some of that early Trey writing style, man. That is very nice. That's good stuff. Drift. I've got my first drift while you're sleeping. Oh man, it's kind of get a little screwed on the stats on one of these short shows. Bug Possum Encore. I'm a big fan of Joey. She's really cool. She seems like a cool girl and all, but I mean, Bug, come on, man. Bug, Possum, come on, man. We're only getting one set. That was a long set. I think they went like 2 hours, and man, it flew by. It felt like bam. Kind of felt like, what? That's it? But then once I realized that was actually over 2 hours, and then plus the encore, if that even counts, is fucking Phish. That does. All right. Calm down. Bug and Possum certainly count. Like I've said many times this summer, I just would not prefer Possum in that spot. Never needed You Like This Before opener. The Bowie was quickly recognized as Bowie, not Maze. Sometimes there's a bit of a game being played there. All right, guys, I don't know. Wish it was better. It wasn't bad. I mean, it didn't suck or anything. It's always cool when you're there. I guess it was just a hassle to grind. It's a lot further drive than I thought. Then the cartridges, man, battling. Nobody told me you're not supposed to. Somebody should be like, hey, man, don't do this whole thing at once. I'd be like, well, what if I have like an hour Phish delay? They'd be like, what's a Phish delay? I don't know, dude. Boom. We're out of here. Oh, yeah. We should include some rad pictures. You might have seen this guy. If you did see this guy, why didn't you apprehend me?